Imagine running a 1 lakh crore of business where 98% of the revenue comes from just two clients. That's Mazagon Dock. और यहीं से ये कहानी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग हो जाती है बिकॉज कंपनी का फोकस शिफ्ट हो रहा है. मज़गांव डॉक दो नए रेवेन्यू इंजन खड़े कर रहा है. नंबर वन, इंटरनेशनल शिपयार्ड थ्रू Colombo Dockyard, a company that it has bought recently. Second is the massive greenfield projects in Tuticorin, targeting global cargo ship market. So the real question is, can these two new business reduce the company's dependency on government or the two clients which they have? Or is the core risk too big to ignore? I have got 6 slides for you to explain these two new growth engine and the risk in the existing core business. So before understanding these two new businesses and the concentration risk, let's look at the valuation of the company. So if you look at PE, price to earning, Mazagon Dockyard has a PE of 46x. Now if you look at sector median, it is 48x. So it is currently available at a 4% discount. If you look at EV to EBITDA, is 31x for Mazagon. If you look at sector median, is 35x. Again, it is available at 11% discount. If you look at price to book, 11.3x, sector median is 10x, it is available at a 13% premium. Now if you look at market cap to sale, 9.1 for Mazagon Dock, here it is 7x for the sector and it is available at a 30% premium. And company has got a market cap of 1.1 lakh crore. And Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited की यहाँ पर monopoly है. And there is no clear listed player. Now समझते हैं the concentration risk. So नए जो ये दो business है उनको हम next slide में समझेंगे. अभी जरा concentration risk इनको को देखते हैं. So पहला है shipbuilding division. Now here the key product are P-15B destroyer, P-17A stealth frigates, OPVs and ICGS vessels. Now P-15B destroyer ये large warships हैं जिसमें मिसाइल और रेडार सिस्टम आता है जो नेवी कंपनी से खरीदती है और इसको यूज किया जाता है एनिमी शिप में अटैक करने के लिए. इसको एयर डिफेंस के लिए भी यूज किया जाता है बिकॉज दे कैरी रेडार्स एंड ऑल. नाउ P-17A स्टेल्थ फ्रिगेट्स, ये मीडियम साइज अगेन शिप्स हैं जो रेडार में भी कई बार नहीं आ पाते हैं. ना ओपीवीज क्या है? ये है ऑफशोर पेट्रोलिंग व्हीकल्स. जैसे पुलिस की व्हीकल पेट्रोल करती है रात को, वैसे ही ओपीवीज आर ऑफशोर पेट्रोलिंग व्हीकल्स और इसको अधिकतर इंडियन कोस्ट गार्ड्स वो यूज करते हैं. एंड आईसीजीएस है अगेन इंडियन कोस्ट गार्ड्स की वेसल्स हैं. सो दीज आर शिप्स जो मज़गांव डॉक शिपयार्ड्स नेवी के लिए बिल्ड करता है. नाउ इफ यू सी दिस बिजनेस इज 55 to 60% of the revenue. So bulk of the revenue comes from the government, navy, coast guard, like we have seen key clients Indian Navy and Coast Guard. So ये सारे critical जो ships हैं और जो warships हैं Mazagon Dock Shipyard वो बनाता है and bulk of the revenue comes from there. Second is submarine and heavy engineering. Now अभी हमने देखा warships देखे, अब ये submarine and heavy engineering है. इसमें क्या है? P-75 Calaveri submarines, ONGC का ऑफशोर प्लेटफॉर्म्स एंड AIP सिस्टम्स एंड रिफिट्स. ना इसको भी जरा हम समझ लेते हैं. ना P-75 कलावरी सबमरीन्स है जो मज़गांव डॉक शिपयार्ड्स इंडियन नेवी के लिए बनाता है. इसमें भी मिसाइल्स और बाकी इक्विपमेंट्स रहते हैं. ना ONGC ऑफशोर प्लेटफॉर्म, सो यहाँ पर मज़गांव डॉक शिपयार्ड बिकॉज दे ऑपरेट इन द सी, सो ये इनके लिए प्लेटफॉर्म क्रिएट करता है फॉर ड्रिलिंग ऑयल एंड अदर थिंग. सो इंटायर प्लेटफॉर्म क्रिएशन इज बाय मज़गांव डॉक शिपयार्ड. नाउ AIP इज एयर इंडिपेंडेंट प्रोपल्यूजम सिस्टम जो एक सबमरीन को पानी के अंदर ही रखता है. सो ये टेक्नोलॉजी Mazagon Dock shipyard के पास है and they sell that technology. Now if you see 40 to 45% of the revenue comes from this segment. So clients and Ministry of Defense and ONGC. So if you total these two, it comes out to be almost 97-98%. So there are two clients. If you see Indian Navy, Coast Guard and the government, they contribute almost entire revenue to Mazagon Dock shipyard. And that's where the biggest risk lies, because if there is a demand slowdown from the government, this company will be impacted the most, and that's where it becomes very critical, for this company, to diversify into new areas. Now, हम आएंगे जो दो बड़े new areas जो company build कर रही है, and that will help in diversification, and second also in reducing, concentration. So उनको अब हम ज़्यादा डिटेल में समझेंगे आने वाले 2 स्लाइड्स. नाउ पहले हम लेते हैं कोलंबो डॉकयार्ड्स एक्विजिशन. ये एक रीसेंट एक्विजिशन है जो मचगांव डॉक शिपयार्ड ने किया है. सो दे हैव एक्वायर्ड 51% स्टेक इन कोलंबो डॉकयार्ड and they paid US dollar $26.8 million for that. Now Colombo Dockyard officially now it has become a subsidiary of MDL or the Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited. If you look at strategy expansion, Colombo Dockyard begins expanding into global ship repair and export market. So there is a huge repair market which will open up for Mazagon Dock Shipyard. And it is also very strategic for India, to have a foot there, in Sri Lanka, because China is already there. Now, second important point is that why and how it fits into, Mazagon Dock Shipyard's strategy and what kind of business, it can bring, for Mazagon Dock, Shipyard. So, if you see, this Colombo Dockyard is managing some 200 ships annually, for repair. So you can imagine the kind of business that will come, to Mazagon from this dockyard. So this company wins a lot of global contract, for repair and servicing. And recently they won some 150 million, contract from a global major. And here there is a clear revenue visibility and there is a order flow, for the company. So in a way that will really help in, diversifying Mazagon Dock Shipyard's revenue. Going forward. And clearly the company is targeting some 20% growth, in revenue, and which is also very positive. Now the second new growth engine is the Tuticorin Greenfield, capex plan. Now let's understand, this project in more detail. So first is the Greenfield commercial shipyard, which the company is setting up. Higher execution complexity है यहाँ पर, so investors should be aware that there are risks also in this new growth engine. Total capex, if you see, 15,000 to 18,000 crore is a multi-phase project. So there is going to be a long playback period. So if you look at the first growth engine, the dockyard, which is up and running with lot of contract, 20% growth, some 200 plus ships come annually for maintenance. So that's a business which is up and running. Now this is a business which they are setting up where revenue will come in the longer run. Execution timeline, if you see, 5 to 10 years. So it's a phased development. Investor concern is the delayed revenue visibility here in this project. Segment ship entry into commercial shipbuilding, which is very good. Now they are getting into VLCCs, cargo ships, new business versus proven defense. Now the big concern is so far, the company has a monopoly, getting a lot of government orders from Navy, Coast Guards. Now this is a new business where they have to compete with big players, especially players from South Korea and other countries. And see the global competition, Korea, China, shipyards. So there will be pricing pressure, there will be efficiency gaps here. Margin profile is lower as compared to the defense business. So potential margin dilution. But in terms of diversification, it's a very good move. But in terms of margin, it's not a better business than the defense business. Now let's understand the revenue growth in the last 4-5 years. If you look at FY21, the revenue was 4,042 crore. FY22, it was 6,358 crore, some 57% jump. FY23, 7,827, 23% jump. FY24, 9,467 crore, 20% jump. Again, in FY25, 20.8% jump. Revenue moved to 11.432 crore, and trailing 12 months is 13,000 crore, 14% jump. If you see the growth, it is normalizing around 15 to 20%. And if we look at the margin performance, OPM is 12%, 10.2% FY22, 10.2 in FY23, moved up to 14.9 in FY24, 18%, 18.5%. So margins, if you see in the last 4-5 years, have moved from 10 to 12% to 18.5%. And the kind of margins they have got in the last 2 years is in a way is factored in the prices. So will margin move up from here? Now that's the question investors should be asking. As you can see, the two new growth engines have a very different profile. If you look at the Colombo Dockyard, it is up and running, can give 20% kind of growth, has huge client base. And if you look at Tuticorin, in the capex is going to be long term. Very phased manner the company is going to implement the project. So we are not going to expect much from this business in the near future. The only positive that I see is the geopolitics and the kind of conflicts that we have seen in the recent past. So my expectation is that the orders from the government or Navy or even from ONGC, today every country is talking about energy security, and tomorrow if India is going to focus more or on drilling and other energy issue, I see a lot of business for Mazagon in the existing business where there is a lot of concentration today. Investors should keep a watch on these two new growth engine that the company is setting up. Just to make a disclaimer, this video is only for educational purposes. In case you want to buy, sell and hold Mazagon Dock Shipyard stock or any other stock that I have mentioned, I suggest to consult your financial advisor.